launched a Laramie project, and it talks about the homosexual boy murdered by two people who cannot accept the special group or LGBTQ group. And in 1998, I think people in recent society can gradually accept the special group, but in that small town in Laramie, it causes 21 age people Marshall dead, and he's a gay. I think this case shocks me because I s- I think people can, yeah, people, why people can kill another people because of he homosexual condition. And I find two values in this play. The first is ignore cannot solve the problem. We need to face it, because when small town people are interviewed, initially they choose to avoid the problem and want to not touch this like taboo, and but it cannot solve the problem. The problem will be bigger and bigger. So the second is the angel behavior, small town people choose to the help Marshall to give a punishment to two teenagers. And I know ignore didn't equal to tolerance. And initially, I didn't understand why small town people choose the way of disregard the to Marshall. I think after watch the whole play, I found uh, they they cannot actually cannot accept Marshall's identity, and they do not interrupt his behavior. They choose disregard his life. It will not hurt him, but in a long time, they also disregard his life. So when Marshall died, so they don't want to touch this problem, and they cannot touch this problem. So some so I think disregard in sometimes means hurt, and uh, and acceptance. The difference between acceptance and tolerance is acceptance means agree. When you agree another people's point, you will have acceptance. But for tolerance, you will not agree with that people, but choose the disregard or ignore way to that point. And Laramie is depicted by, I think it's depicted by interview, the way of interview. The small town people interview small town people and choose the onlooker or spectator way to look at the whole town. And I think Columbus will not happen this case, because I think human beings nowadays have wider sight. As society get improved, they will have new thoughts and will more accept more strange or special group, because we know more. And I think this story is a documentary story. Um, the producer choose the go straight way to talk about the whole story. This producer not choose go straight way to talk about the whole story. It's not advanced. Instead, it's a recall. The producer give us the result and go back to tell the whole story. And I think it is an independent play. It not includes profit business, and also it includes the data media. In that age, it has a judge from the President Clinton to this case, and I think it can make this whole case to be real. And in the last, I have two questions. The first is, how do you view these special groups or LGBTQ group? And the second is, why people always choose ignore instead of help to special group people.